The most important and overlooked skill in tennis is your ability to catch the ball or your catching skills. And some other coaches would call this your receiving skills. And let's unpack this right away. What do I mean by catching skills in tennis? Well, when you hit a tennis ball, say I'm hitting the slice right here, upon contact right here, I am catching the ball. I'm catching the ball, meaning think of your string bed as a net, or think of your string bed as your hands, the fingers on your hands. You are catching the ball at contact, and in that micro millisecond or whatever it is on that string bed right there, when the ball meets the strings, you are catching the ball, and the ball is being compressed. It's being enveloped. It's being just held on there for that microsecond. And you are simultaneously pretty much sending the ball or hitting the ball back. So I'm hitting a slice here, but tennis is a little bit different from other sports in that we are pretty much catching the ball and throwing the ball back. So a tennis stroke is throwing the ball back. And if you don't believe me, just take a look at a still frame, a very close up still frame of when the ball meets the strings on the tennis racket. And you can see that the ball is very much compressed, it's distorted, what it looks like. And that's how you create that spin. When you hold on to that ball for that microsecond, you could create that spin, and I could feel this slice, right? So when I hit this slice, I could feel it on the string bed. I could feel it carving out and getting that underspin. Or if I hit that forehand top spin, I could feel that top spin, and I could feel it being manipulated on contact. So advanced players can feel what's happening on that contact point. And so catching the ball involves a few set of sub skills, right? So when Matthew here is going to hit this ball, I first have to recognize where it's going to go. So I see this ball already and it's going straight towards me. So that's one set of sub skill that I need for catching the ball. I need to recognize where that ball is going. So now that I know where that ball is going, I have to go to that spot, right? So that involves just the feet itself. So there's foot and eye coordination involved here, foot-eye coordination. And I have to move to that spot where that ball is going to go. And now for the actual catching skill, that involves my hand-eye coordination, right? So this ball goes deep, and I have to be right here, and I'm going for this topspin lob, and this is where I actually catch the ball, right on contact point. And that's where I need to be, and that involves my hand-eye coordination. So those three things, your recognition, your hands, and your feet, have to be all synchronized together, have to be working together in order to catch this ball. So that's the catching or the receiving part of the skill, and now I'm throwing it up for a topspin lob over Matthew's head. So as you can see, catching is an integral part of tennis, maybe the most important part of tennis, because if you're not there to catch the ball, then even if you have the best forehand in the world, you have a Roger Federer forehand with a great backswing, great loop, great everything, great follow through, mechanics are good. If you're not there to catch the ball, then it's almost meaningless. Same thing with a serve, right? If you're trying to serve and that toss is out of whack, then how are you going to properly serve? You have to be there. You have to be at that contact point. And some coaches actually start beginners with volleying first. So here's a volley, just for example purposes. And on volleys, you really need to have pretty much a perfect contact point. So as you can see here, I'm pretty much there. I'm hitting this volley off a ball machine, but as you can tell, that ball is pretty much in the middle of the string bed, and you have to be there. If I'm an inch off, either sideways or maybe too far back, too far in front, or whatever, if my timing's off here, then my volley is not going to be good. And I don't normally start beginners with volleys, but some coaches do this, and I could understand why, because the contact point is so important. Even if you have a great forehand, a great volley, how are you going to hit a good volley if you're not going to be in that actual place, actual space and time where that ball is going to? So, how do you work on your catching skills? Well, you can practice. And I know that that may not seem like a very revolutionary concept, but you have to practice, practice, and practice. And when professionals practice, they actually practice 5 to 6 hours a day, maybe even longer. And when they practice, they're working on their forehands and backhands and serves and everything. But when they practice, it's really about the timing, right? So, you want to get really good timing, really good feel. And when you don't practice, right? Say you haven't played tennis for about a couple weeks or so. And then when you get back into it, it may take another hour for you to get that timing back, to get to that level that you were before. And so with professionals, they have to play, it's obviously work for them. So they have to play constantly, they have to play every day and practice every day. If you're a recreational player, you still have to put in that time, right? Maybe not several hours, but you have to put in that time so that you can get that timing. And here's a good way of practicing is just being on a ball machine. So you could practice your catching skills that way. Just be mindful of it and while you work on your forehands and backhands. And here I have the ball machine set pretty low where I'm just hitting the ball after it bounces twice. And this could be a very good drill for any beginner or intermediate level player just to understand the ball's flight path, just the trajectory of the ball. And just light hitting like this can work wonders with your catching skills. Obviously, if you're a more advanced player, you should set this ball machine a lot higher with more pace, more spin. But something like this, any kind of practice on the ball machine or with a friend or just playing tennis in general, you are practicing your catching skills. So don't overlook this skill of catching the ball in tennis. In tennis, we're literally catching the ball on our string bed and almost simultaneously throwing it back to our opponent. Tennis is all about timing. It's all about the contact point, being at the right place at the right time. It's very hard to pull off a good forehand or backhand or serve or volley without being there at the right place at the right time. So if you're having problems with timing, I suggest just to practice more. And if you're really, really having problems with timing, just go very basic and have a friend throw the ball at you and you literally catch the ball with your fingers. That's playing catch. That's playing very basic catch, and that's okay. Playing catch is what we're doing in tennis, and if you're getting better at catching the ball, you're going to get better at playing tennis. If you enjoyed this video, kindly do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.